Tim Struzzi is with us, Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, and we visit with him once a month, try to catch up on what's going on within the chamber. Good morning. Good to have you with us here today.
Thank you.
Helps if I press the button.
There we go. You can hear me now?
There we go. Indeed we can. All right, so a lot happening in the Indiana business community. I know you've got some exciting news from within the chamber. You've
Absolutely.
got big awards coming up, huh?
We do, yeah. We're excited to announce that the 4th Annual Indiana County Business Hall of Fame induction dinner will be held on May 31st at the Cavalci Complex. This year, we're going to induct 5 wonderful individuals, Martin Bear, Lewis McGill, Gilbert Wolfenden, Jim Carino, and Jim Miller. All of those individuals have done incredible things for the Indiana County business community, so we're very honored to be able to induct them as the 2018 Business Hall of Fame class. If you want to learn more about the Business Hall of Fame, you can go to the Chamber's website, indianacountychamber.com. We have a tab for that. It has its own website. We have videos from the previous inductees and more information about the dinner and how you can register. We are taking reservations now for tables and for seats and for sponsorships. There was a form that went out last week. It'll be out in the member email today. But the easiest way to do it is to either call or stop by the office, the chamber office at 724-465-2511, or visit us at 1019 Philadelphia Street.
Mm-hmm. Those are some names that maybe haven't been on the forefront for quite a while. Some
Right.
names from the past.
They are some names from the past, but when you look at these individuals' track records, the things that they accomplished, the things that they helped push forward for Indiana County, they really are deserving of the induction into the Hall of Fame. I always find it an interesting process, Todd, when you start to dig into the lives of these individuals, and we partner with the Gazette, and we do a lot of research. We work with the families to find old articles, old photos, to really put together a comprehensive biography, and then ultimately a video that we show that night. But when you really dig into these individuals, it astounds me how many tremendous people have come from Indiana County that have affected change not only here locally but globally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, the Hall of Fame event itself functions as pretty well as a standalone event, doesn't it?
It absolutely has become one of the marquee events for Indiana County. We wanted to make it a prestigious event because you're honoring the lives of these individuals, and we wanted to make it something both memorable and respectful. So I think we've done that. Again, this will be our 4th annual Business Hall of Fame induction dinner, and the people who attend every year, the crowds grow stronger. It's a great event. Everyone has a nice time, and we really do honor these individuals and their families.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's take a trip around to Indiana County and see what's happening in terms of the chamber. I know that you've got events lined up, such as business after hours events and some of those other meet and greet type things, the networking type events that you have always on the schedule.
We do. There's a bunch of different things coming up right now. Next Tuesday, we will have a chamber check-in, which is our monthly open house in the chamber office. It's a great opportunity for people to come in, share some information about their business, learn about the chamber, do some networking. It's also a great opportunity if someone's interested in joining the chamber. They can learn, what that means, how you become a member, what the benefits are at the check-in. So we invite people who are considering joining the chamber to come. And again, that's going to be next Tuesday, February 27th from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the chamber office.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Very good. And as you said, chamber website's going to have all that information.
Yeah, and our weekly email that goes out, and our weekly member email will go out today with all that information for current members. But just to continue, Todd, there's a lot of different events coming up. We have several chamber business after hours in the next few weeks. We have a bunch of ribbon cuttings coming up for new businesses in the community, which is a good thing. March 2nd, we're going to have a ribbon cutting for Woods Decals, a branding company that's on, I believe, South 4th Street behind Fox's. And then on the 8th, we're going to have a ribbon cutting for the new Verizon up on North 4th Street. Excuse me, Woods would be on South 6th Street. 6th Street, yes. And then Verizon on the 8th, and they're going to have a celebration party afterwards. So a lot of great new businesses opening in Indiana County. I saw that Umi Steakhouse opened over on Ben Franklin Road at that new shopping plaza over there. So we're starting to see businesses come into Indiana County. It's a continuing trend, and we always hint at some of those big announcements that we're going to have, and I think you're going to see that very soon.
Yeah, we'll keep hinting.
We are hinting.
But fill in some of the details from time to time, Jim, because everybody's curious. We want to know, when we think about the Indiana County business community, what we're doing is we're actually talking about life in Indiana County.
Absolutely.
And the jobs that those will bring with them will boost economic opportunities. when one company relocates into Indiana County, that means others might be considering.
Absolutely.
And certainly we want to see that sort of development happen. That's the way it works.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Todd. Whenever one business comes, it's like a magnet. Other businesses say, well, what does Indiana County have? Why are these businesses locating there? And then they all start to come. And this is the same with people. We need more people here. The jobs will bring people. More people bring more retail. More people bring more restaurants and businesses that serve people. So it's a really a momentum building kind of activity that we have to have, and we have that right now. If some of these plans come through, and we're working very hard behind the scenes. I wish I could share more with you. I know we're all excited, but there has been just a tremendous amount of work that's been occurring over the past couple of years through our entire economic development team, through the Center for Economic Operations. We're working very hard to try and make these things happen, and I think that in due time, people in Indiana County are going to be very proud of what we've accomplished.
A lot of those efforts in recent years have been toward trying to attract manufacturing-type businesses.
Yes.
The cracker plant in Beaver County is going to be a game changer in that respect.
It is.
And we look forward to the types of things that could bring. But it requires a lot of people. You said behind the scenes. Yeah, it requires a lot of people who are going to have to do some real hard legwork in order to make that happen.
Well, it's absolutely true. Back in June last year, myself and Byron Stauffer, the County Executive Director for Planning and Development, went down to Louisiana to kind of benchmark how that area dealt with the influx of all those cracker plants. They had $120 billion under construction. A regional game changer, much like the Shell cracker plant is going to be for our area. And there's 2 or 3 other cracker plants that are now being planned in the tri-state area. First, that's going to draw on the natural resources of which we have an abundance here. So hopefully that's a boost for the energy industry. And then secondly, the products that they manufacture or they create from those petrochemical plants, they crack the ethane and create plastic pellets, which are the building blocks for many of the products that we use in our daily lives. And we have a rail line that goes directly from Blairsville, inactive rail line directly from Blairsville to that cracker plant in Monaca. So if we can capitalize on that, if we could bring a manufacturer in here, a plastics manufacturer, or someone who could use those products from the cracker plant, we think that would be a great fit. So we're working on things like that, working to see if we can get that rail line active again. Manufacturing in Indiana County is actually doing very well right now. I attend the Manufacturing Consortium meeting once a month, and we hear reports that there's a lot of good things happening in manufacturing. They're hiring, they're getting new orders, they're expanding their operations. It's just a lot of that stuff kind of flies under the radar.
The Pittsburgh region has put a lot of stock into the Amazon bid.
Right.
And personally, I don't think it's happening. But but should something like that happen, would that be something that, hand in hand with the cracker plant and the jobs that it would create, would really make this area a hub for other industry?
Oh, I think absolutely. When you have any kind of business that's going to require 50,000 employees, it's going to draw from the entire region. That will help our academic institutions. That will help IUP. That will give more opportunity for our young people here locally, and it will have that wave effect that as it brings those kind of companies in. More companies, again, as we said earlier, will want to locate in an area like that because a lot of those employees are going to be millennials, and we'd love to see our young people stay here locally. If we can capitalize more on that type of thing, if we can put businesses out at Windy Ridge or some of our other business parks that create family-sustaining jobs for young people. I mean, that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to see our children stay here. We don't want them to go off to college and move hours and hours away. We want them to stay at least in this region. Obviously, we want them in Indiana County, but if we can keep them here in the region, that's even better.
I was going to ask you about developments such as Windy Ridge because that seems to be a real key for Indiana County. And then down the Route 119 corridor, there's more business park opportunities for businesses to move in there as well.
Yes, the 119 Business Park in Coral Grayston is currently occupied by Trinity Holdings out of Texas. They're constructing the Sunoco Logistics Pipeline, which just got back underway here within the last week or so. But they're going to be there for at least several more months to complete the construction of that pipeline. But then that, again, is a ready-to-be-developed business park, pad-ready sites, much like Windy Ridge. So the opportunities are there, and it definitely, when you're looking at economic development, the philosophy of if you build it, they'll come is true because you have to have the facilities in order to attract those businesses. Businesses want to come in and they want to put up a building, in a few months and be ready to go. They don't want to have to do all the legwork that we've already done, all the permitting, all the infrastructure. That's all in place in these business parks. So it's ideal and it's ready for economic development.
We're soon going to be getting ready for the construction season here in Indiana County in terms of highways and those sorts of infrastructure things.
That's a good thing.
And highway construction, particularly north of Indiana, as you head northward on Route 119, there have been some major improvements there. Everybody would love to see 119 be like 22, be four lane all the way. That probably isn't going to happen, but just with every new layer of asphalt that goes down and every improvement out there, that improves possibilities for the northern portion of Indiana County. And even if you do that, then things like widespread internet access become more viable for residents in a very rural area.
Infrastructure is key, Todd. Transportation infrastructure and technological infrastructure. We need to make sure that all families have access to high-speed internet for educational reasons, and businesses. It's hard for a business to locate in a rural area if they can't access high-speed internet. You have to process transactions and all that kind of stuff. So I know that we're making a lot of efforts and a lot of strides in that direction, but there's a lot of work yet to be done. But anytime you see roadway improvements, that's a good thing. The more infrastructure we have in place, the more easily businesses can transport their products and services, the better it is for Indiana County. And the 119 corridor is seeing a lot of work, as you said. Same with 422 right now, and there are big plans from both those corridors. But we would love to see those ultimately improved as best they can be in the next decade or so.
He's Jim Struzzi, Chamber of Commerce. Can't let you get out of here without asking you this question, and you can say, I decline to comment at this time if you want.
All right.
The redrawn congressional district maps, whether that changes the plans for Representative Reed and he decides not to run for Congress, he's not made a decision yet in that respect. Should he decide, I'm not going to run for Congress, I'm going to run again for my seat in the 62nd, what does that do to your candidacy?
Well, first of all, I certainly feel for Dave and his family right now. That really is a difficult and challenging situation to be in. I hope that things work out for Dave as best they can. As far as my campaign, Todd, I'm running because I think we need effective leadership in Harrisburg. We need experience in Harrisburg. We'll make that decision if it comes to that, but for right now, it's full speed ahead.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. He's Jim Struzzi, Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, and there you go. That's going to do it for us for today. We went almost right up.